The cyclospora outbreak has absolutely exploded.
Three Northeast Ohio residents have now filed federal lawsuits claiming they became seriously ill after eating at Taco Bell.
Have you ever noticed that the first headline gets all the attention, but the correction barely makes the news? Just days ago, Taylor Farms was being blamed for one of the largest food-borne illness outbreaks in recent U.S. history. Taco Bell restaurants pulled lettuce, consumers were told to avoid certain products, and many people assumed the case was closed. Now the FDA says the laboratory test linking Taylor Farms to the cyclospore outbreak was a false positive. So here's the question. If it wasn't Taylor Farms, then who actually made thousands of people sick? Let's get into it.
The CDC identified shredded lettuce as the source of the widespread cyclospora outbreak, a parasitic infection that causes severe gastrointestinal illness.
It's a parasite that is only found in human feces. So somehow, some way, human feces got into the water supply that watered these plants, that then got into the system, that got into the chain of distribution, that has now made thousands of people in America sick. And we deserve to have answers.
What we know, the outbreak itself is very real. More than 1,600 confirmed cyclospora illnesses have been reported across dozens of states, with about 100 hospitalizations. Thankfully, no deaths have been reported. Cyclospora is a parasite that can cause severe diarrhea, stomach cramps, nausea, fatigue, and symptoms that can last for weeks if left untreated. Investigators initially focused on Taco Bell after many of the people who became sick reported eating there. Don't that normally happen though when you go to Taco Bell? Okay, never mind. I love Taco Bell.
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
The FDA's traceback investigation then pointed toward shredded iceberg lettuce supplied by Taylor Farms de Mexico, and both Taco Bell and Taylor Farms took precautionary steps by removing the product from circulation. At that point, many people believed the mystery had been solved. Then the story changes. Then came another update. The FDA now says that the laboratory test detecting cyclospora in the lettuce was actually a false positive. Taylor Farms says the FDA acknowledged the error and apologized. That means there's currently no confirmed food sample that has tested positive for cyclospora in this outbreak. That doesn't necessarily mean Taylor Farms is completely ruled out. Investigators say the epidemiological evidence looking at where people ate before they got sick still points toward shredded iceberg lettuce served at Taco Bell locations. So there are now two different pieces of evidence that don't perfectly match. One points towards the lettuce. The laboratory testing doesn't confirm it. This is why it's important not to rush to conclusions. I've seen people online suggesting politics may have influenced this decision because of rumors about Taylor Farms' political connections or alleged White House meetings. At this point, I have not seen credible evidence that politics caused the FDA to change its findings. The FDA says the change happened because additional testing showed the original result was a false positive. So why publicize it? Why report on it if you didn't test it multiple times? That's my question. But here's what I do think is fair to ask. If Taylor Farms wasn't confirmed by laboratory testing, who was? Was it another lettuce supplier, another ingredient entirely, contaminated irrigation water, or is the source still somewhere in the supply chain waiting to be identified? Those are questions investigators are still trying to answer. One thing we should all agree on is that consumers deserve accurate information. Businesses deserve a fair investigation, and the public deserves to know the true source so this doesn't happen again. Here's what some threads users are saying. So one, Taco Bell identified cyclospora on Taylor Farms lettuce, notified the FDA, and removed the lettuce from their supply chain. Two, Taylor Farms tested their lettuce and determined the issue was a Mexican source, removing it from their supply chain. Three, the FDA launched an investigation into Taco Bell. Four, the CEO of Taylor Farms met with Donald Trump. Five, the FDA says Taylor Farm test was a false positive. I know we crossed the Rubicon ages ago, but please, can someone in the media start talking about this? This user said the FDA is lying. Taylor Farms is lying. I will be boycotting Taylor Farms. Neither care about your health or safety. Act accordingly. This user said, I'm sure no one is purchasing or eating anything from Taylor Farms. However, the news is only talking about lettuce. I purchased a Taylor Farms vegetable tray on June 30th. I ate a small amount of it and became extremely ill. I had to go to the emergency room and get saline 4. Now, this is serious. Another user said, so let me get this straight. The government tested produce from Taylor Farms. It came back positive for the poop bug. Taylor Farms met with Trump. The government says the test results were wrong. This feels very corruption-y. Another user said, the smoke that Taco Bell has been getting should have been directed at Taylor Farms. Taco Bell isn't in the business of growing produce, but Taylor Farms is. Do with that what you will. So Taylor Farms put out a statement and said, today FDA apologized to us. Yesterday, FDA informed Taylor Fresh Foods that one of its iceberg lettuce products from central Mexico had a confirmed positive test for Cyclospora. Today, we were informed that FDA made a mistake and this was a false positive. To be clear, at this moment, FDA has not identified a single positive product test result for Cyclospora. Acting on initial information provided by health officials in an abundance of caution, we completed a voluntary recall of iceberg lettuce from central Mexico. Recall product was limited to iceberg lettuce grown and processed in central Mexico. All other Taylor Farms products, including all Taylor Farms brand products, are not involved in the recall. Our thoughts remain with everyone who has fallen ill in this outbreak. We are committed to working with public health authorities as the ongoing outbreak investigation continues. Y'all, I don't know where they're getting from that Taylor Farms visited the White House, but it is all over Threads. And it is known that Taylor Farms supported Trump and donated to the campaign, allegedly. I'll say allegedly. But everyone on Threads is saying, a lot of people on Threads are saying that Taylor Farms visited the White House, if y'all can see it here. So, yeah, I mean, what's the root? What's the root? I mean, what's causing it? I've seen multiple people post that they ate different products from Taylor Farms and got sick. So it's not just the iceberg lettuce, y'all. So be very, very careful in that produce section. And as somebody else said, bagged lettuce has always been suspect. And you have to be very careful with it. Wash it even though it says it's already clean, y'all. So what do you think? Did the FDA move too quickly by publicly linking Taylor Farms before the science was settled? Or do you think the lettuce is still the most likely source, even without a confirmed positive test? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and if there are more updates in this investigation, I'll try to keep you posted right here. All right, well, thanks for watching. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification button so you don't miss any of my videos. Bye.